So now that we've run through some sort of practical information about what intimate weddings and elopements are in terms of definition and when may be a good time to start planning and even have the wedding, you're probably wondering, well, what does it cost? So this next little series is going to delve into different suggestions based on budget. And I don't want to get into specific numbers here because things change, although I will start off with a few very specific number facts, which is that it actually only costs $65 to get married in New York City. $35 for the license. Everybody buys that regardless of where you're getting married. And then this is at a minimum, obviously, for the ceremony to have the clerk at the marriage bureau sign your marriage license and give you a certificate. So that's $65. So that is the absolute cheapest option, is to show up there wearing whatever you want. You could literally spend no money and $65 would be your total outlay. Everything else is just sort of gravy, It's $25 to get a permit to have a wedding in Central Park, but then you're going to need to hire an officiant. That would be sort of like the next tier. If you're like, well, we just want to get married simply, we don't need photo, we don't need anything else, just the officiant. I don't know what the least expensive rate for that is for a license signing or a short ceremony. I would say maybe $200. You might be able to find people who are willing to do it for less. But somewhere around that would be, say, then in Central Park, which would mean you could get married on a weekend. But if true cost saving is your goal, your best option is going to be one of the marriage bureaus. And to be clear, there's a marriage bureau in Manhattan, there's one in the Bronx, there's one in Queens, and there's one in Staten Island, and there's one in Brooklyn, right across the bridge, in just outside of the Dumbo area in Brooklyn. So that's definitely another option. Aside from that, everything is just what you want, what you desire. I have a few examples for enhancing, say, a Central Park ceremony. So you've laid out, maybe $25 for that, plus $35, so we're at $65. The officiant's maybe $200, and then you get friends to come. Maybe they bring items like a potluck, have a picnic of some kind. There are also companies you can hire that'll bring in catering. You're not supposed to drink alcohol, but you can do sparkling beverages and other things in the park. So you really could kind of go crazy with that and save a lot of money by not having like a wedding venue. You can obviously have an event at your house, a friend's house. Some couples even have access to, like, say, a rooftop or a room in their building, or maybe a friend has a building. There are numerous ways to get married inexpensively, especially if you're willing to skip out on like the bells and whistles and decor and flowers and all those sorts of things. I've absolutely seen couples roll into the marriage bureau just wearing like t-shirts and jeans. They even sell like cute shirts like spouse A, spouse B, witness. You could make that your wedding decor, and I'm pretty sure you could get those shirts for $25-$30. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, inherently, elopements are typically seen as being budget friendly, but that's not always the case. And as we move into some of the other categories, I'm going to talk about, couples can spend just about however much money they feel comfortable with spending to get the experience that they want. But that just to get married, you only need $65.